Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nos programmes offrent plusieurs langues. Veuillez visiter suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nuestros programas ofrecen varios idiomas. Visite suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Nossos programas oferecem vários idiomas. Acesse suprememastertv.com/schedule.
Do you know who invented one of the earliest calendars and time devices in the world? Advanced Inventions of Ancient Egypt, Part 1 of 2. Continue watching to find out more.
Vegan, the true embodiment of Taoism.
Elegant viewers, in the Republic of Ingushetia, you may hear Salam, which is hello in English, an official language of the Republic of Ingushetia. I am Murat. The sweet people of Ingushetia pray that peace always blossoms in your heart and overflows in abundance, touching all who come near you. Welcome to our program, Advanced Inventions of Ancient Egypt, Part 1 of 2. Egypt is a transcontinental country that connects Africa and Asia with a land bridge formed by the Sinai Peninsula, bordered by the Gulf of Aqaba and the Red Sea to the east, Sudan to the south, Libya to the west, and the states of Palestine and Israel to the northeast. Since the time of the pharaohs, around 3150 BC, Egypt has played a key role in linking Northeast Africa with the Middle East. According to the latest statistics from February 2022, Egypt has a population of over 105 million people. Arabic is the official language of Egypt, and Cairo, the historic capital city, founded in the year 969, is one of the largest cities on the planet. The longest river in the world, the Nile, flows north-south through Egypt, and millennia-old monuments stand along the Nile River Valley, including the colossal pyramids of Giza and the Great Sphinx. Egypt has one of the longest histories in the world, tracing its civilization and cultural heritage along the Nile Delta back at least as far as 6000 BC. Many hypotheses exist for why ancient Egypt had such an advanced civilization so early. Some even alluded that there were influences from the highly developed aliens. In her book, Keepers of the Garden, the famous psychic researcher Ms. Dolores Cannon disclosed that the spire of the Great Pyramid was used as a transmitter or receiver of energy between planets. Scientists have found a small feminine-looking statue on Mars, which is similar to an ancient Egyptian woman warrior. So far, scientists have been unable to prove whether these Egyptians and other people from ancient civilizations were communicating with alien civilizations or beings from another, more civilized planet like Mars, or whether they invented their technology themselves. But with recent archaeological discoveries, we are closer to learning the truth about ancient Egypt. Today we will journey through ancient Egyptian inventions in astronomy, timekeeping, architecture, and shipbuilding. Ancient Egyptians clearly felt a close connection with the universe, and Egyptian astronomy traces back to earlier than 5000 BC, when celestial alignments appear to have inspired the astronomical side at Nabta Playa. Astronomy in ancient times was mostly used to predict planetary shifts that affected natural phenomena, such as how the moon affects the tides, which were used to make predictions to help develop agriculture planning and avoid or prepare for floods, droughts, or famines. Around 3000 BC, circular mud brick walls were built to mark the position of the sun as it rose at dawn. A plumb bob was then used to mark the northern or southern turning points, identifying the summer and winter solstices each year, which led to this establishment of the 365-day calendar. The lunar calendar, which follows the moon, was developed by observing the moon and the star Sirius' reappearance after a 70-day absence in its heliacal rising, which meant the annual flooding and drought of the Nile River could be forecasted. This knowledge was used to invent the world's earliest known irrigation system. Based on these astronomical measurements, the Egyptian pyramids were carefully aligned to Thuban, the ancient North Star, and the temple of Amun-Re at Karnak was aligned to the rising of the midwinter sun. Religious festivals and hours of night were marked by astronomical observations as well. Later in history, Ptolemy became one of the most prominent astronomers in ancient Egypt, and his work Almagest greatly influenced Western astronomy. The earliest known traces of sundials were also discovered in Egypt and date to around 3500 BC. While a surviving limestone sundial showing greater complexity and design dates back to 1500 BC and was discovered in the Valley of the Kings in 2013. A sundial found on His Majesty Seti I's cenotaph describes how the hours of the day were kept track of, with 10 hours of daytime, 1 hour for the dawn, 1 hour for dusk, and 12 hours for the night. Shadow clocks, an upgraded version of sundials providing greater precision in daytime, were first used around 1500 BC in Egypt. They incorporated a major innovation that provided a more precise gnomon, dividing nighttime into 50 parts. The shadow clock was positioned eastward in the morning and westward in the afternoon to measure shadows cast by the sun. The design was later adapted with markers around the obelisk to indicate units of time. From 600 BC, Egyptians started to use merkids, which used plumb lines to establish the north-south meridians to calculate the time at night. Two merkids were aligned with the star Polaris, also known as the North Star, to create a north-south meridian. When certain stars crossed the north-south meridian line, the time could be determined.
Definitely, I would recommend to any friend and to any person to learn about becoming a true vegan person with a mind frame of keeping your body healthy. The Reverend Pastor Louis Diego Clare, vegan.
Cheerful viewers, we'll now pause for a moment to hear a brief message. We'll return shortly. Please stay tuned to Supreme Master Television. Welcome back to our program. The study of astronomy developed into an ancient polytheistic Egyptian religion that lasted for almost 3,500 years of prehistory, with gods being named after stars such as the sun god Ra and sky goddess Nut. Prehistorical Egyptian architecture was deeply influenced by this religion. An astronomical ceiling in the burial chamber of His Majesty Ramses VI shows the sun god Ra being born from Nut in the morning, traveling around Nut during the daytime, and being swallowed up at night. The architecture of the temple complexes built during the 5th dynasty by His Majesty Nisaraini at Abu Ghurab and His Majesty Userkaf at Abusir shows careful consideration of astronomical alignments. Some roofs were designed to be multifunctional, including being used for astronomical observations in order to predict dates of religious festivals. Many massive Egyptian monuments, which were dedicated to deities or pharaohs, demonstrated a high level of ingenuity and engineering prowess, and many of these ancient wonders are still standing today. The wise pharaohs were the rulers of ancient Egypt, and they used sophisticated technology to build some of the largest buildings ever conceived of, even to this day. According to historical evidence, the ancient Egyptians invented many simple building tools, such as scaffolds, ramps, and a lever, and used them to help construct the pyramids as far back as 4,500 years ago. Sophisticated rock-cutting techniques were used to produce the many colossal statues, and copper saws and hollow reed drills were used to excavate temple rooms in rocks, such as the temples and tombs built by the pharaoh Her Majesty Hatshepsut and the rock-cut tomb of the pharaoh His Majesty Tutankhamun in the Valley of the Kings. Simple but effective surveying tools such as a plumb bob, a cubit rod for short measurements, and a calibrated rope for 100 cubits for longer distances were used in field measurement. These effective construction methods made it possible to build Aten, the largest ancient city, which was established around 3000 years ago. Aten was completely excavated in 2020 and is known as the Lost Golden City of Luxor. Through their great building projects, ancient Egyptians developed systems to manage the logistics of the labor force and production lines, such as workers' food and clothing supplies. Ancient Egyptian maritime technology used in ships and lighthouses played an important role in the Mediterranean. An Egyptian pharaoh's solar boat, dating back to around 4,500 years ago, possesses the most advanced shipbuilding technologies in ancient Egypt. Instead of using nails, mortises were used to join the solar boat's wooden planks together, and it is still the largest and oldest known wooden object in the world. Also known as the Great Boat of King Khufu, the solar boat was described as a masterpiece of woodcraft that could sail today if put into water. However, it would appear the vessel was not designed for sailing as it had no rigging or space for oars. According to some interpretations, it might have been used as a water crane when building the pyramids, or designed for a pharaoh to sail across the skies after death. Other ingenious technologies and inventions of ancient Egypt were man-made canals used to transport heavy building materials, the world's first geological and topographical map drawn in 1160 BC, the famous lighthouse of Alexandria, designed by Sostratus of Cnidus and built in the 3rd century BC, and a giant cantilever hoist used to lift cargo onto and off ships, similar to how shipping containers are loaded and unloaded today. Based on their prolific innovations in shipbuilding and navigation, ancient Egypt became the first country in the world to possess a navy. Many early Egyptian inventions and technological advances demonstrate a high level of wisdom within their ancient civilization, which has formed the basis of many technologies still used to this day. What an amazing journey of discovery of ancient Egyptian inventions. We thank the ancient Egyptians for their wise use of knowledge that has contributed so much to the comforts and technology we enjoy today.
Vegan, be the mercy that you always pray to God to bestow upon you.
Joyful viewers, thank you for your company today during Advanced Inventions of Ancient Egypt Part 1 of 2. Please return next Wednesday, March 9th for Part 2. Up next is the Shining World Award recipients, Compassion and Love Brighten Our World, Part 1 of 2, right after Noteworthy News. May you gain greater enlightenment every day through divine grace.
Our programs offer many languages. Please visit suprememastertv.com/schedule and suprememastertv.com/CTAW.